today we are driving in New York City, Manhattan. So, if you're a Filipino like me driving here, and marunong ka mag-Tagalog, and if you speak Tagalog, welcome to the live. So, what am I doing here? I am working here as a driver, as a household worker actually, for everything else. And I'm driving now in Manhattan. So what is the difference between the Philippines and Manhattan in comparison with the driving? Number one, Manhattan has a fixed speed limit. The speed limit is 25. That's the max that you can do. But if you're in FDR and at the other side of the river, East River, you can get up to 40 miles per hour. So that's the difference. In the Philippines, it depends with the town. If you're in Manila, if you're in Quezon City, if you're in Marikina, they have local government laws. But here, 25 is the max. Inside and in the outer lane, in the most outer lane, you get 40 miles per hour. And there's an exception to that. If you're in a school zone, sometimes they give you 20 miles per hour. And sometimes if there's a kids school zone, you're gonna get like 15 miles per hour. So you have to be cautious about that, because nobody's gonna tell you it's a school zone. Nobody's gonna tell you that, oh, it's 15 miles per hour. Nobody's gonna tell you that. Your car, if your car is equipped with that, it's gonna tell you that, oh, you have to run at 15 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour, but it will not alert you. There's just an icon on the dashboard that's gonna say, oh, you have to go 20 miles or 15 miles per hour, or you're gonna take a risk getting arrested, actually getting a violation, getting a penalty. Cameras are everywhere, and unlike Manila, cameras are everywhere, but it's to the benefit of everybody who is gonna penalize you. Like jaywalking, right? Jaywalking in Manhattan, it's illegal now. In the Philippines, it's illegal, but before Manhattan has an illegal jaywalking, they just gave 500 tickets just last year for those who are jaywalking. So does it matter? Yes. But in Manila, if you drive in Manila, you'll see a lot of people crossing the street, even if it is not a pedestrian lane. They just walk over, and then you have to play tag. And that's why most of the people there are dead, especially in Quezon City, but in Tawak. In New York, you can get away with jaywalking every single day, but you have to cross the pedestrian. You have to go to the pedestrian lane, and you can be immortal there. And since I'm driving now, I'm experiencing all of that at the same time. They're just walking past through you. They'll just look at you. Sometimes they just don't care anymore. They think they're immortal when they're in the pedestrian line. Every time you cross the street here, you have to look right or left, because some crazy person, and you cannot predict that. Some crazy person will do crazy things, and you're gonna be the victim of it. You're gonna be in the morning news the next morning. So yeah, in the Philippines, there's a thing called swerving. When you have this fine line, straight line, white line, or yellow line, and it becomes dotted, and then it becomes a solid line again. Here, um, people get away with those because NYPD is very lax in arresting people because of that. In the Philippines, the enforcers are like, they have like eagle eyes, like they can see from a kilometer ahead, and then if they see you just crossing a bit of that line, you're gonna be fined for swerving. Here they are lax here. You can swerve here. A lot of people swerve here, no problem. I think swerving isn't a law yet. It's just called swerving, and it's penalized in the Philippines. And one more thing, in the Philippines, they have these rotondas. They're what they call rotondas in English. And yeah, I'm driving, so I don't remember. The one, the circle thingy in the middle of the road. Yeah, you have rotondas in the Philippines, and in the United States, first one to stop is the first one to go. So if you stop first, you're the first one to go. In the Philippines, as long as there is space, everybody gets crammed up on those rotondas. So that's the difference there. And here you have a line that, hello there, hi there, I'm sorry I'm driving, I cannot read all of your chats, but hello there. Good morning New York, good morning Philippines. Actually it's 8:15 in the Philippines. Good morning. Driving in New York, November 1, which is a holiday, and still grinding for $4. I'm still driving. No holidays for migrants, for immigrants. Yeah. Good morning. So what I'm saying is, if, in the Philippines, you cannot just put a line and you say stop 8:15 or p.m. Oh, 8:15 a.m. I'm sorry, 8:15 a.m. here in Manhattan, New York. And for those of you in the Philippines or somewhere else, good afternoon or good evening. In the Philippines, it's 12 hours ahead, so good evening in the Philippines. So yeah, it's raining. It's raining in New York, so it's a bad weather. This is a bad combination because if you're hello Mark Smith, if you're here in New York, yesterday there was a Halloween parade in 6th Avenue, and after the parade, all of the parade here, Macy's parade, everything, all of the parade here. After the parade, there's a lot, tons of garbage or trash, and if you combine it with rain, it's gonna have a lot of traffic. So we're experiencing traffic right now along 2nd Avenue, but not because of the trash, but most of the 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue, 4th Avenue, they're gonna be having traffic there because of that. Oh, good morning from Buffalo, New York. Hello, good morning. Hey, how's your breakfast? Happy holidays. It's November 1. It's All Saints Day. Yeah. What I'm telling with my co-Filipinos before. Sorry, this is not about driving anymore. But since we're the only ones here, we can talk about that. For those who are here in the U.S., All Saints Day and Halloween in Asia, most probably the Catholic ones, like the Philippines, they celebrate All Saints Day by religiously. Actually, they go to the graves of their loved ones. They're having fun with their relatives. They go to the grandma and grandpa, and they have candles and flowers for the dead. Unlike here, you suit up, you go to a party, and you rock and roll. All right, wait a second. Before I read your chat, I have to cross the X box. Oh, this intersection. All right, there you go. What country do you like better than the Philippines or America? That's a good question. Well, for me, it's Japan. I've been there last 3 months ago, and it was they respect you. Although there's discrimination between the Koreans and the Chinese, Japan is still one of the countries who are very kind. I went to Osaka with my folks and my wife. I asked this businessman who are selling what do you call this? It's keychains and everything. I'm asking where's the Namba station. He closed his shop and then he guided me. He said we're gonna go here. He's just pointing because he don't know how to understand English, right? So he's pointing. Come with me, come with me. Hayaku, hayaku. So and he told us there you have to ride there and go to this one to the yellow. He was pointing at the yellow lane, at the yellow road railroad sign. You have to go here. You have to go here. And he went back to open his shop again. That's how kind the Japanese are. So yeah, I think the Japanese they're very most welcoming, very inclusive, but very most welcoming, especially in the city. All right, where am I? I'm in 18th Street. Okay, so I'm almost there. I went from uptown going to downtown. No traffic. Everybody's in holiday. Everybody's drinking yesterday, so nobody's driving today. The traffic is because of the commercial traffic, because of the trucks. So yeah. So going back before we sign out in like 10 or 15 minutes. The only difference I think in the Philippines and in New York when it comes to driving is the patience. I worked in Italy for like 9 years, and Italians are very impatient when it comes to driving. They're always using they're honking their horns. In Manila and in New York, everybody is stopping. Everybody's in standstill and nobody's honking their horns. Everybody knows it's traffic. What's the use? Except of those, of course, the crazy ones and the and the taxis and everything. So yeah, I think that's the only difference. And they say that if you can drive in New York, you can drive everywhere, and I believe that. I got friends from New Jersey who doesn't want to drive here, from Canada and from Chicago. So yeah, but it's like Manila. Really, it's like Manila. Everybody's crossing the street. Nobody gives New York has bike lanes. Manila doesn't have one, and actually the Philippines doesn't have one. The whole country. Unlike in Italy, the pedestrian comes first, priority, then the bikes, and then the cars. So yeah, here everybody is like in a hurry. In the Philippines, they're like Portuguese and Spanish. They slow down a lot of their time. It's like time is not gold for them. So in traffic, they have to spend like 2 to 3 hours for 25 to 30 kilometer ride. So that's terrible actually, because time is money, and the Japanese, Italians, and the Americans know that. And yeah, we have to know that as Filipinos as well. So yeah, and the stoplights, don't get me started with the stoplights. In the Philippines, the stoplights are the police, are the traffic enforcers. The stoplights are almost useless there because of the heavy traffic. So yeah, in New York it works, but when there's a police there, either there's a blockade, there's a VIP, or there's a closure or a construction there. I love New York. Yeah, It reminds me of my country, in the Philippines, where everybody is just a little bit crazy, but everybody's just smiling back at you. Nobody gives an ass, you know. And one more thing, in the Philippines versus New York, because I just driven here, I cannot say the whole United States. In Manhattan, actually, people tend to be more aggressive than being a defensive driver. I don't know what's the difference between that, because in the Philippines you become a defensive driver because we cannot afford our cars, so we cannot afford to get a scratch. We love our cars in the Philippines. We put names. We give names to our cars. We give a lot of accessories to our cars. We love our cars in the Philippines. So wait a second. Somebody's crossing the street on a green light. Yeah. So in the Philippines, they don't want their cars to be scratched. Okay, they don't want bumps. They don't anything, because they cannot afford to fix them. They cannot afford to yeah, they cannot afford everything. Here, they're aggressive because they don't care. They're cabs, they're taxi drivers, they're closed vans. They don't care if you hit them. They don't care if they hit you. They're just aggressive. So you have to be. It has to have a balance between defensive and aggressive driving, or else you're gonna get bumped here. But in our country, in the Philippines, everybody is very accurate with driving. It's a side mirror race. I call it side mirror race, wherein you have to go inch by inch ahead with your side mirror, with another side mirror, just not to let them pass. So that's hard, actually. I was doing it in college before in Manila. So yeah, here when you see somebody's cutting you, I just let them go, because if you are in more aggressive, you have to balance it for New York, because if majority are crazy, there's gonna be more crazy driving. So you have to be defensive here instead of aggressive, but you have to stand your ground, okay? Because you cannot get anywhere if you're gonna give the road to everybody. So you have to stand your ground. So that's a long comparison between the Philippines and New York. I'm almost at my parking, and maybe the next live I'm gonna talk about parking, which is very problematic here. So yeah, this is Michael from OFW Project. Thank you for watching. I'm here in the parking, which costs a lot, but this is my boss's car, so no problem. See you and thank you. Signing out. Thanks. And how do you stop this?